The other big thing, which again was another very clever innovation by Norwegian Cruise Lines, which I think is fantastic, is the offerings that you give for solo travellers. And again, this is quite unique within the industry because you have a dedicated area, don't you, for solo travellers. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, we call them the studios, and
Right.
they're on our big new ships. And it's a good point. One of the things that if you are an independent traveller or you're travelling on your own, typically the way that cruise lines price their product is based on two people in a cabin. So if you were typically travelling on your own, you would have to pay a single supplement. And sometimes that can be as much as doubling of the fare. Mm. So at Norwegian Cruise Line, we identified this market. Funny enough, I was reading an article last week in the Telegraph that was talking about a potential market in the UK of over 5 million people that travel, but typically travel on their own. They're not married, they're divorced, or they're widowed, or they're people that want to travel in groups, but just want to be on their own. So we've created this thing called the Studio. So on our ships like the Norwegian Epic and the Breakaway and the Getaway, we have a whole area of the ship which is dedicated, and we have cabins that are built just for the single traveller. Double beds in there, 100 square foot cabin, but with its own private access again, so it has its own key card that gets them into that area of the ship. We also have like a communal lounge and a bar area, and you can make coffee, and we'd serve afternoon tea and sandwiches. And we also have one of the guest services coordinators that comes in and spends time at certain times of the day when people can get together. And having watched it in action, it's actually quite amazing when you see people that are travelling, independently travelling, and then they get together, and there's notice boards and things like that. So people say, "Hey, my name's Francis. I'm thinking of going on the shore excursion tomorrow. Is anybody else going on the shore excursions?" And then they get to meet other people. Say, "Hey, anybody fancy a dinner tonight? I'm thinking of doing Cagney's. Should we order a table of 8?" So it's very, very a great way for single travellers to get to know and meet other people in a very safe environment. And it just proves to be very popular. It's one of the first things that sell on our ships.
So it's cheaper for them because you're not.
Yeah,
charging
it's
them,
priced on a single
yeah.
traveller. Yeah.
But they get the privacy that they'd like, but they get to meet other people in a similar situation as themselves.
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic concept. And the cabins themselves, they're beautifully done. It's a whole little set. It's almost like you said before about the Haven idea, but in a sense coming for solo travellers, which is wonderful.
Yeah.
And having a social hostess or social host there as well
helps it. And for those that want to keep themselves to themselves, absolutely, they can do that as well. Yeah. But we see a lot of things on Facebook now and social media where people who've been on the product are saying, "Hey, my name's Francis. I was on recently on the Epic. I'm thinking, of going on another ship. Who's coming on that sail date?" So people start to interact with each other before they even get on the ship. Good. And I think people then start to meet other people in a sort of social environment.
One thing I meant to ask you before, and I suppose it's connected with the idea and the concept of freestyle. What about dress code? Because again, some people that maybe haven't, are new to cruising or have cruised with other lines have maybe experienced a more formal attire. Being told they, maybe 2 or 3 formal nights for some companies in a week, or told that they have to dress in a certain way at a certain time. Is that the case with Norwegian Cruise Line?
No is the answer to that. There is no official formal night where you have to wear a suit and a tie or a black jacket or a black tie. We describe it as resort casual. So we don't allow swimming trunks and things like that in the main restaurants, and we just don't allow that. But what we do allow is really casual, resort casual attire. Most people on the ships in the evening would wear shirt and open neck shirt and slacks and trousers, and the women they wear their dresses and whatever, and people do tend to get dressed up if they want to. Sometimes in specialty restaurants, a lot of people are actually booking that for their special occasions, and wedding anniversaries and birthdays, and they want to make a little bit more of an effort. We do have the photographers on the ships that can do that, those more formal type nights. But no, it really is resort casual. But we don't allow cut jeans in the restaurants and things like that if any of your viewers are worried about that. So it's more like you would do on a land-based holiday. Again, I come back to that point. It's you don't want to be told to dress up, and you don't want to be told who you're going to eat with and what time you're going to eat. You know, this
Yeah.
is really about making it your holiday your way.
Absolutely.